Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to tell you something that has once again shaken the emotional world of Demet Özdemir, one of the most beloved and followed actresses in Turkey. It all started with a simple yet meaningful phrase, "Thank you for appearing in my life." Demet posted it on her stories, and since then, one question has not stopped circling. Who was it for? Many immediately thought of Can Yaman, her ex, with whom she had recently been linked again. A few events aligned, some glances from the past, and rumors reignited. But that flame was extinguished when Khan posted intimate pictures with Sara Bluma, calling her his new love. The blow was harsh, and Demet, visibly affected, chose to step out of the spotlight and leave Istanbul for a while. From a peaceful place surrounded by nature, she shared images that spoke for themselves: peace, reflection, rebirth. That's where she wrote that phrase. But what if it wasn't for Khan? What if it was for Çağatay Ulusoy, her co-star in the series Eşref Rüya? Leaked set photos showed a closeness beyond the professional. Walks, coffees, shared laughter, everything hinted at a deep connection. Rumor has it that Çağatay speaks of her with admiration. Meanwhile, Can Yaman remains silent, and Sara Bloomer hasn't reacted either, feeding the mystery. The press follows every move, but Demet has chosen not to explain. And that, ironically, says more than any words. Her message can be interpreted in many ways: a thank you to the past, a graceful goodbye, or the beginning of something new. Either way, it's clear Demet has changed. Pain transformed her, betrayal made her stronger, and today she seems ready to love again. Someone else, or maybe herself. With the new season of Eşref Rüya starting, all eyes are on her chemistry with Çağatay. Their first interview together might reveal what's only been suspected until now, and if her words were for him, we may be looking at Turkey's next favorite couple. One thing is certain: Demet Özdemir is no longer just an actress. She has become the emotional voice of a generation, and this story is just beginning. Every time Demet Özdemir is mentioned, passions flare up. Some admire her like a queen, others criticize her harshly. But beyond the noise, one thing is clear to me: Demet has become a symbol of quiet strength, of dignity in the storm, and of a personal evolution many can't accept. Once her name was tied to Can Yaman. That was 6 years ago, yet some still can't let go. They want to trap her in a past she has clearly left behind. Why is it so hard to accept that a woman can grow, reinvent herself, and choose a new path? Demet hasn't just changed her style or projects, she has changed how she exists in the world. She no longer needs scandals, strategic relationships, or media games. Her presence is subtle but powerful, and that unsettles people. Some even say she never had anything with Can Yaman, that it was all fan fiction. Maybe we'll never know the full truth, but one thing is certain: she never exploited that bond. She handled it with respect and elegance. Now rumors swirl around Çağatay Ulusoy. Once again, whispers and stares. And once again, Demet shows that she doesn't owe anyone explanations. Is she with someone? Is she alone? Who cares? What matters is her integrity, her way of living without feeding into scandals, her way of protecting what matters. Still, some attack her. They call her cold, calculated, opportunistic. What irony, because all I see is a woman who, in a world full of empty promises and bright lights, has stayed true to herself.
For me, Demet is no longer just an actress. She's proof that you can grow up under the spotlight without losing your soul. She doesn't need to provoke or defend herself, she just keeps going. And for many, that's more unsettling than any headline. In a world that punishes women for being independent, Demet chose freedom. And that is the bravest act a woman can have in this industry. Demet, on the other hand, kept moving forward, with the serenity of someone who has nothing left to prove. Her stability is more unsettling than any statement, Because the past doesn't hurt because of what it was, it hurts because of how well it endures, even when you're no longer in it. I already lived that chapter with him, she said privately, and if someone needs to mention me to feel secure, that's no longer my concern. She didn't say it in front of the cameras, but the message got through, like a soft scent that lingers without needing to be seen. Sarah has not been defeated, but she is on guard, and it shows. Because when insecurity doesn't come from the outside, but grows from within, shadows are not fought with words. And in the smallest gestures, those who know Khan can feel the tension, not because there's a choice to make, but because he stands between two stories, one that is ended and one that still needs to be defined. Demet does not want to return. She never hinted at it. But she won't allow herself to be erased either, because her story isn't a threat, it's a fact, one that, however uncomfortable, still exists, like a chapter that cannot be torn from the book. Sarah's gaze that night was just a page, but Demet has already read the whole story, and the public has too. Because in the world of fame, what isn't said is what's most deeply felt. Demet Özdemir is no ordinary woman. She unsettles people with her clarity, with her silent strength, with the way she makes choices without asking for permission. Yet it seems she's never been judged for who she truly is, only for what others expected her to be. The shadow of her past with Khan Yaman still haunts her, as if she didn't have the right to move on, to make mistakes, to rebuild herself away from a love the world idealized. Many still wait for signs that she feels something for Khan. Others blame her for everything that went wrong. They say she didn't appreciate him, that she left for another man, that she toyed with the heart of the most beloved actor of the moment. But how many ever stopped to ask how she felt? What crossed her mind when people labeled her a traitor just for trying to live again? Where is the empathy for a woman who, like anyone else, just wants to be happy? There are comments that wound, like those that say she was never on Demet's level, or those that pit her against other women as if competing for Khan's heart. Why such cruelty towards someone whose only crime was to love, live, and then move on? Why, because she's a woman, should she not have the right to end chapters, to make mistakes, to free herself from what no longer served her?